I will say that I bought this bottle for the purpose of serving it at Christmas time to guests.
Welcome to the Sons of Vancouver Whiskey channel. My name's James.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jenna.
Today, we're tasting Glenmorangie 10-year-old. We have a recent bottling right here, and we also have a bottling from the 1990s. This is the Scottish Writers series. Came out between 1990 and 1996, somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to taste side by side, 30 years apart.
Nice.
All right, start with the new or the old? What do we want to start with?
New.
Andy, do you want to tell everyone who you are and why you're having some scotch with us?
Yes. I'm Andy. I'm a Scottish guy
Sons of Scotland!
that they found outside.
Literally from Scotland.
Yeah, literally from real Scotland, where this stuff's made. I just moved to Vancouver from Scotland. I worked in whiskey for a long time, so talked about it quite a lot, drank a lot of it. I wouldn't say I'm a specialist at all, but yeah, fun to be around sometimes.
An expert.
In a past life. Delicious.
A lot of sugar, a lot of caramel, a lot of malt.
Glenmorangie, pronounced Morangie, as if you're saying orange, known for having the tallest necks in Speyside.
This thing's got, what, a 25, 27-foot neck?
The still necks.
Still, like the column?
So they claim that they have the tallest necks in the whole of Speyside, so they make the lightest.
On the pod still, you mean?
Yes.
This comes across a lot hotter on the nose than it does on the palate. Once it settles in a little bit.
If you gave me this to drink, I probably would not peg it as a 10-year whiskey. I would put it somewhere in, like if you gave me this and told me that it was a young whiskey, I'd probably believe you. 3 to 5 years in the cask.
These are they're used casks, extra used.
Good point. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about this. I remember this bottle is mine from home. I remember buying it and being slightly disappointed that there's not much to it. It's very light, very neutral. It doesn't really drink like a pot still whiskey.
Accessible is the word I've used.
It's very accessible.
Well, what I'm excited to see here is if Glenmorangie has changed in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on with the 1990 bottling of Glenmorangie.
It smells like an attic.
So not exactly the same.
I'm going to say that is from the age in the bottle and not the actual whiskey itself. Something that I find happens with these old bottles is if they're not sealed correctly, or if there's some deterioration in the cork, you end up with like a dusty smelling whiskey. And I think that in this case, that's what we've ended up with.
There's a lot more going on the nose of the earlier bottling than the more recent bottling.
Yeah.
I'd say there's like almost a little bit of there's a little bit of wine in there, some influence from wine barrels that I'm not exactly getting in the more recent Glenmorangie 10-year-old.
Quality.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the age, but the newer one is, I feel, is a lot more mouthfeel. It's like a lot oilier. I may be making like this sort of honeyness come through, or honey come through a little bit more. I feel like the newer bottling's a lot sweeter, and I think it's important to note that the older bottling was at 43% and the newer is at 40%.
This is basically what I wish this bottle was. Like this is
Yeah, for sure.
accessible while still being flavorful. I want to say that there's even a little bit of peat there. Like there's like the tiniest, sneakiest bit of like a phenolic, like smokiness right in the background that like is almost not perceivable, but like it's there. It might be.
There's a little bit of funk.
It might be from an old barrel, or it might be from something else, but it's there. It's like a tiny bit of smoke that like.
I get you. I don't think it was.
That like the what's the word I'm looking for? The meatiness that we've talked about
In scotches before.
is there. It's more in the background, and it's clearly supposed to be in the background. It's not like supposed to be up front. I will say if you go back to the new bottling, there's a tropical note that comes through.
Citrus is way more forward in it, I feel.
Yeah, like there's like a fruitiness that comes through then. And like if you taste it, you get more of the malt character than you do in this one. This one you get like a lot more barrel and other stuff going on, whereas this one like relies almost solely on the malt.
It's a great expression, actually. There's a lot more like citrus and dried orange fruit
Yeah.
Yes.
in the in the 90s
orange.
bottling.
I think it's a good way to think about it is, I'm pretty sure this is the number one malt sold in the UK at the moment, but it probably wouldn't be if it still tasted like this.
Interesting.
Because you're right, this is, I would say, like a more of a whiskey drinkers or
Yeah.
not connoisseurs malt, but someone that knows what they like. Whereas this, someone that maybe hadn't tried whiskey before, wanted to, we wouldn't put them off. They would maybe try something else after.
Yeah, really nice, really fun. That was a nice comparison.
And that's a 5-minute whiskey tasting.
15-minute whiskey tasting.
Thank you, Pizza Cardi.